We have some changes on the way as we get the second half of the work week going here in Southern California. Santa Ana winds, unfortunately, we had a brief break from them, but they're returning as we look ahead to the middle and end of this week. King tides also making an appearance for our entire coastline from the North County all the way down to the South Bay. We have the threat of seeing some minor coastal flooding with tides anywhere between 7.5 to about 7 feet and 3/4. And we are looking at warmer temperatures to blanket our inland region. Specifically next week, we could have low 80s returning for some of our warmer spots west of the mountain areas. All right, as of Tuesday night, a beach hazard statement is officially in effect for our entire coastline, stretching from Camp Pendleton all the way down to IB. And that is due to high surf along with king tides. And we could see the threat for minor coastal flooding, especially in those very low-lying areas. Now, peak tides, high tides will be around the 7:30 hours, both Wednesday, Thursday, as well as Friday at about 7 to 7.5 feet. In addition, that's what's happening across our ocean floors. But when it comes to the surface conditions, we're looking at Santa Ana winds making a return Wednesday afternoon all the way through Friday morning. Isolated gusts will exceed anywhere between 40 to 50 miles per hour or so. And this is going to impact our most populated neighborhoods along the passes, canyons, as well as mountain slopes. We're also looking at the threat for fire danger. Concern will be elevated, at least for the next couple of days, with low relative humidity levels dropping down into the teens. Now, it looks like we'll start to feel those winds have an uptick later on this evening, but they really start to peak overnight while most of us are sleeping around the 4 a.m. hour early Thursday. And then they subside a bit looking ahead to Thursday afternoon. In terms of high temperatures, we are looking at a very nice day. In fact, today is one of the coolest days of our work week, and then temperatures are going to slowly be on the rise, especially for interior parts of the county. So here's what Wednesday's highs look like for us here in San Diego County. We'll be topping out in the mid to high 60s from Oceanside all the way to downtown San Diego. And notice how in the inland valleys, we're looking at temperatures very comparable, mid to high 60s from Fallbrook all the way down to La Mesa. 57 degrees, so about 10 degrees cooler for our mountain neighborhoods, and we'll be topping out in the low 70s out in Borrego Springs. It's going to be a pretty chilly night with the return of those offshore winds, so winds blowing from the east to the west. They'll kind of move that marine layer and a lot of those clouds out of the way, resulting into a very chilly night. So grab that jacket if you have any evening plans. 50 degrees overnight for the coastal areas. Will drop down into the mid 40s for the inland valleys and about 5 degrees above freezing for the mountain areas. Today, tomorrow, all the way through about Saturday, not much change, but notice how daytime highs will start to climb, especially towards the middle of next week. In fact, as I mentioned, those warmer neighborhoods for the inland communities like El Cajon, Santee, as well as Valley Center could top out in the mid to low 80s. So next week, not really going to be feeling much like December. Mountains and desert areas will be in the mid 50s all the way through about Friday for spots like Julian. Meanwhile, the deserts will stick in the 60s for the next couple of days, and then we rise back into the 70s by the weekend.
I'm meteorologist Monica Woods, and we're tracking a couple of weather changes coming our way. Here's a rundown of our regional headlines. For the coast, we're still dealing with those king tides, breezy for the valley, mostly sunny for the foothills, and cooler conditions for the Sierra. In fact, we have cold weather alert for the Sierra, especially through the central and southern Sierra above 9,000 feet. That will continue through Thursday morning. We're talking wind chills that'll bring temperatures down to 10 below zero. Some very, very cold weather. Now let's head to the coast. This is where we're dealing with some of those high tides, the king tides. That is when we have those high tides in conjunction with the full moon, and it really elevates not only the tides but the surf. So we get these sneaker waves and some strong rip currents. Watch out for that. Through midday today, we'll continue to monitor any potential flooding. We talked about that full moon. It's the last super moon of 2024. It hits us on Thursday. We've got the clearing skies, so we actually have an opportunity in the valley to see the full moon. We've been stuck in this foggy pattern. We saw it break early in the week. We'll continue to see our northwest winds kick up. What that's going to do is erode much of the low-lying cloudiness that has been so pervasive since last week. A little bit of a disruptive weather pattern for a slight chance of a few snow flurries for this year that will dissipate quickly. And again, behind it, we get the colder air that will keep those wind chills quite cold in the higher elevations. A little bit of mix of sun and clouds through the middle of the week, but again, with those north north winds are very dry. It will help to reduce the opportunity of seeing those clouds and the low clouds, especially throughout much of the valley. As far as the showers, though, they are staying well to the north of us and off to the east. So it's been a rather dry pattern here since roughly about the middle of November. Taking a look at those temperatures, again, it is going to be quite cold for overnight lows in the teens. Afternoon highs in the 40s for the Sierra, 50s and lower 60s as we head throughout the Sierra foothills. For the central Sierra, highs are going to reach the lower 50s, but those overnight lows will get our attention, especially with those winds that'll be picking up. As we head into the valley, still dealing with areas of low-lying clouds through the central San Joaquin Valley, with temperatures hovering right around 50 degrees. Watch out for the patchy morning fog heading into our Wednesday. That will start to clear as we pick up those northwest winds. We're still in the 50s for Los Banos and Coalinga, as well as Hanford. Once we get to the coast, we're in the 60s from the Monterey Bay Peninsula through much of the central coast there through San Luis Obispo, up to about 65 degrees. Bay Area forecast very similar. We'll be in the low to mid 60s. Beautiful at Point Reyes there, 65 degrees. Head inland, we're finally breaking out of a lot of the low clouds that have kept most of the northern California Valley and Coastal Valley regions socked in fog, and 40s for afternoon high. So nice warming here. 50s and 60s along the northwest coast, near 60 throughout the northern end of the valley. And as we head into the capital region, highs will reach the lower 60s. Those are dry and warming winds, but you see where some of that fog is going to keep us still in the 50s, especially throughout the northern San Joaquin Valley. A little slower to clear out of the low cloudiness. A look at the 5-day regional forecast. Wednesday is going to be our cool day there. We're right back to a mix of sun and clouds and warming temperatures for the upcoming weekend. For the mountains, we're in the 50s, and for the foothills, we'll be close to 60. For the coast, it's a mix of sun and clouds, and highs close to 60 as well. Our extended forecast, we'll see those highs ranging from the mid 50s to right around 60.
Well, for your Wednesday, more snow coming into the Rockies along the Front Range there. Also, a couple of clipper systems will be moving across the Great Lakes, bringing some snow. Heavy rain across the western Gulf Coast, and we have more extreme cold coming in to the Midwest. Taking a look here at the cold temperatures across the country, noticing all the purples and blues indicating that really cold, chilly Arctic air. Minneapolis, you're not getting out of the teens for Wednesday. 30 from Des Moines over toward Grand Rapids at 32, Cleveland right at freezing, and then we've got the 40s in the mid-Atlantic stretching down into the deep south. So the mid-south, places like Memphis staying well below average, not getting out of the 40s for today. Denver, you'll be at the 29-degree range, and then 40s in the Pacific Northwest, 60s in California and Arizona. All right, taking a look here at our national radar satellite imagery, noticing a couple of those disturbances getting ready to come and moving their way across the Great Lakes. Off the coast of Maine there, that's that system that brought so much snow to the upper northeast, and then we've got a little bit more activity coming in to the Rockies, as I mentioned. So we do have the watches and warnings here in the Rockies. That does include you in Denver, where we could see some snow certainly piling up, especially as we get into the Front Range there of the Rockies. No real severe weather expected today. We'll just have to watch out for those heavy downpours along the Texas and Louisiana coasts. Let's take you coast by coast now for those high temperatures. Taking a look here at Seattle, from the 40s to 50s with more rain moving in your way by late week. Portland, you'll be in the 40s, Spokane 30s, and then we have Boise sitting in the 40s again with unsettled weather. Pretty quiet from Sacramento to San Diego and Phoenix. You'll be in the 50s and 60s. Denver, chilly for you. We've got that snow coming in and then warming up a little bit more tomorrow to 38 degrees. Staying pretty calm, pretty quiet across much of northern Texas. Dallas, you could get a couple showers coming your way on Thursday. Houston, it'll be rain for you for the remainder of the week. And then as we head into Little Rock and Atlanta over the next couple of days, Little Rock, boy, by Thursday, you're not getting out of the 30s. New Orleans, you'll be in the 50s and 60s. Atlanta, still very chilly air for you, but drying out. Another chance of rain coming your way, though, for the weekend. And then Tampa looks pretty with the 70s and 80s. Very cold here across the Mid-South and into the Midwest. St. Louis not getting out of the 30s. Memphis well below average in the 40s. And Louisville still, you're way below average in the 30s. Very cold air here in the upper Midwest. It's even going to get colder really as we move over the next couple of days. So not getting out of the teens in places like Minneapolis, Des Moines over the next couple of days. Chilly air all around really across the country. Buffalo in the 30s, and we've got the 40s from DC to Norfolk.